At Strategies, we have been working on this concept of functional states, especially in Africa. What have we realized? Our continent, of course, is faced with extreme challenges. We have a serious conflict situation on the continent right now with a terrorism and conflict belt that is stretching from the Sahel across to Lake Chad Basin with Boko Haram and across on the Eastern Front, not to talk about all of the conflict and terrorism that is taking place around the Great Lakes region, specifically in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We have, along with this conflict, of course, food insecurity situation, which is huge. We have a youth bulge. We have the youngest population on the planet, and we are getting close to 500 million young Africans that are within the ages of 15 and 25, and who are looking for jobs, who are looking for hope, who are looking to be integrated into education. And with all of these challenges, we see one thing: we do not have functional states. We do not have functional states in the sense of states that are constantly looking for solutions for their citizens, providing basic services, meeting challenges head on, and using all of their available resources to provide solutions for their citizens. So this functional state concept for us at Strategies is essential no matter what you're working on in terms of development. If you're working on development of the economy, in agriculture, in mining, in technology, if you are working on healthcare, if you are working on questions of providing water and electricity to the population, if in the process of working on these different issues, we are not reinforcing the functionality of the state, then we are not really providing sustainable solutions. Now, what do we mean by the functionality of the state? We mean, is the state present? Simply present. We find that in too many African countries, the state is just not there. It is only covering a certain percentage of its landmass. Especially in that conflict belt that I just described across the continent, you will find that one of the key drivers of conflict is the absence of the state for decades and decades. A state which is not there in terms of providing water, providing electricity, providing schools, providing hospitals and health centers for its people. When the state is absent for, long periods of time, it gives the space, the room for negative non-state actors to install themselves and occupy that space. And that's what we're seeing in Africa today. So for us at Strategies, as we develop strategies, as we implement strategies, as we figure out solutions for our continent, we have to be thinking, how do we do this? By strengthening the presence of the state in all the areas where we are working. So presence is number one. The second pillar of the functionality of the state is safety and sustainability. Citizens have to feel safe. And for citizens to feel safe, it means that their fundamental rights are respected. These are the rights which are in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which most of our countries have signed. They are the rights which are in the African charters on democracy, on good governance, on human rights. We have African charters which we have all signed on to. If a citizen is not guaranteed their right to speak, their right to have an opinion, their right to go to school, their right to food, their right to shelter, if these fundamental rights are not being respected and the state is not actively seeking to ensure that every citizen has these rights, we are not carrying out a strategy which is sustainable. The other aspect in this pillar is that citizens themselves must have the ability to organize, to express their interests, to participate in governance, and to be able to defend these rights. So we are looking at, if you are working in agriculture, it's important to look at, are farmers' organizations, do they exist? What is their strength? How are they being supported by the state to be active? If you are working on healthcare, you must look at, is there a trade union for health workers? Are they able to define their interests? Are they present when the state is developing strategies for healthcare? Are those workers involved in the development of those strategies? The same thing for education, and definitely the same thing in whatever aspect of the economy you are looking at. Another hugely important citizen collective is the media. Is the media present? Is it free to do its job? Because if citizens do not have the right to information, which is a fundamental right, and if they are not being informed, if they do not have the ability to express themselves through media, then whatever we are developing is not going to be sustainable. So it is important in this second pillar of safety and sustainability, whatever the sector that we are involved in, that we take a look and we determine whether the state is actually being reinforced in terms of providing safety and ensuring the sustainability of its development strategies and practices. The final pillar that we have in this idea of functional states is hope. Today, Africans are leaving, Africans are on the move. They are leaving the rural areas to come to the city. They are leaving the city to go to the neighboring country where they feel there is more hope. They are leaving the neighboring country to go to another continent where they feel there is more hope. So if states are not functional enough to provide hope within the country, and even within the country, within the municipality, within every single part of the country, then we are not going to be able to actually develop an economy. We are not going to be able to actually develop as a people, as countries, and as a continent. Hope is also, so hope is about a growing economy. Hope is about art and culture, all of those things which feed the soul, which nourish the soul, but which without the support of a functional state will die, will become non-existent, because they need that support. They need, these are not necessarily very economically viable areas, especially in the beginning. They need state support in order to take off. Many forms of art and culture can become very economically viable, but to create the conditions where the initial production and creation actually occurs, you need state support. This is the same thing for science and innovation. Everything that is about tomorrow, everything that is about our imagination, our ability to think outside of what we currently know. If the state is not there to support research, to support innovation, to support those who are thinking about the problems that have not yet even occurred, if all of this is not in place, then we are not able to really have functional states that are addressing the needs of their citizens. So as you work on development, whether you are a municipality, a local government, whether you are a national government, whether you are a regional body, or even our continental body, the African Union, and whether you are a partner to our African states. So you could be from the private sector, you could be a development partner, a financial partner, or a technical partner. At Strategies, we are saying you need to look at whatever you are doing through the prism of the functional state and ensure that whatever development project, whatever development program, whatever business that you are building, you are in the process reinforcing the functionality of the state. The state's ability to be present, the state's ability to provide safety and sustainability, the state's ability to build hope. And it is on that note of hope that we always finish at Strategies to say, we know that we can do it. We believe that we can do it. We know that we need to do it in a way that is structured, that is reflective, that is in partnership, and that brings it all together for our states to be more and more functional.